Wow.
We all know that Blue Ivy came from a surrogate.
Yep.
They shut that hospital down like a president had just been shot.
But there are actually a lot of people that believe this rumor, and it's crazy. I guess there are some crazy celebrities in the world, so we get a bad rep.
Wow. So we've all heard the whispers that Blue Ivy came through a surrogate, right? Yep. They locked that hospital down like it was a full-blown emergency situation. But believe it or not, a lot of people actually buy into this rumor. And honestly, it's wild. I mean, celebrities have done some crazy things before, so it ends up putting everyone under suspicion. Jaguar Wright is back at it again, and every time she opens her mouth, the entire industry gets tense real quick. You already know the pattern. The moment she starts talking, folks in Hollywood start shifting in their seats, looking uneasy. But this time, she's not coming for Diddy or Clive Davis. Nope, she's aiming even higher straight at music's ultimate power duo, Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Now she's making bold claims about Blue Ivy's birth, suggesting the story we've all accepted might not be the full picture. And just like that, the whispers are back, louder than ever, spreading everywhere. The big question hanging in the air? Simple, but heavy. Could Jaguar actually be right again this time?
When we all watched her get on TV with that fake pregnancy belly that folded over,
Yep.
she sat down. The timeline of when she delivered Blue Ivy lines up almost perfect with the timeline of when Kathy White would have delivered. Couldn't get pregnant. Not naturally, not normally.
Because let's be honest, the last time she started speaking like this, people dismissed her instantly. They laughed it off, called her crazy, said she needed help, and didn't take a single thing seriously. But then, years later, lawsuits and documentaries about Diddy started surfacing everywhere, and suddenly the energy shifted. Real fast, nobody was laughing anymore. So now that Jaguar is speaking on Beyoncé, the internet isn't so quick to joke this time. People are slowing down, looking closer, side-eyeing everything. It's more like, wait a second, what if she's telling the truth again? But before jumping to conclusions, let's rewind to the exact moment that had everyone questioning everything. This goes back to when Beyoncé's baby bump had the internet in a chokehold and people couldn't stop talking about it. It was 2011 and Beyoncé was glowing like never before. The Carters were on top of the world, running the game, everything looked flawless. Then came that unforgettable VMA performance, her fairy tale style reveal. She dropped the mic, opened that glittery jacket, rubbed her belly, and the crowd completely lost it. Cameras flashing everywhere, Jay-Z in the audience smiling ear to ear, looking beyond proud. In that one moment, Baby Blue was already treated like royalty before even arriving. But then things took a turn when Beyoncé appeared on an Australian talk show. She looked calm, radiant, clearly pregnant, until she leaned forward. That's when people started doing double takes. Her stomach appeared to fold in a way that confused viewers, like it didn't move how they expected. The clip went viral instantly, and people started breaking it down like it was evidence in a courtroom, zooming in, slowing it down, replaying it over and over. And to many watching, it didn't look natural. It looked like the bump actually collapsed.
But what this moment exposed to some even caught us by surprise. Here it is again, slowed down. As Beyoncé sits down with Molly Meldrum, her dress folds. That crease caused a worldwide controversy.
Some brushed it off, saying it was just the fabric of the dress shifting, nothing serious. But others weren't convinced at all. They believed it pointed to something deeper. That single moment sparked a fire online, leading to years of theories, debates, and endless breakdowns. Just like that, the Beyoncé bump investigation took off, and the internet went into full chaos mode. Talk shows, blogs, YouTubers, everyone had an opinion, and everyone picked a side quickly. It became a conversation that just wouldn't die. Beyoncé herself shut it down, calling it the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, and even addressed it in her 2013 documentary, Life is But a Dream. She also opened up about suffering a miscarriage before Blue, sharing how painful that experience was. She described that pregnancy as her miracle, her second chance, something deeply emotional and personal that meant everything to her.
Seems like people should have boundaries. There's certain things that you just shouldn't play around with. And a child, you don't play around with that. And especially after losing a child, the pain and trauma from that just makes it mean so much more to get an opportunity to bring life into the world.
Even magazines tried to calm things down, quoting sources close to the couple who insisted everything was normal. But despite all the PR responses, the internet refused to let it go. People kept asking one major question: perhaps if it was all just a rumor, why did everything surrounding the birth feel so intense? When Blue Ivy was born, reports described heavy security everywhere. Guards at entrances, restricted access, strict privacy rules for staff. It had people talking, saying it felt less like a hospital visit and more like a high-level lockdown. When Beyoncé went into labor, Lenox Hill Hospital in New York reportedly had tight security, with claims that an entire floor was reserved. Some reports even suggested the cost of maintaining that level of privacy went over $1.3 million, only adding fuel to the fire online. There were also stories from other families claiming access was limited during that time, which made rumors spread even faster. The hospital denied some of those claims, but by then the conversation had already taken off. People kept asking, why so much security? Why so secretive? And why all the restrictions? And just when things started to quiet down, Jaguar Wright stepped back in and turned the volume all the way up again. She claimed all that money wasn't just about privacy, it was about something else entirely. According to her, Beyoncé didn't give birth that night at all. And that's when things escalated. Jaguar dropped one name, and instantly the internet lit up again.
Started really getting into your story when the intersection of the story of Kathy White came back into my life.
His alleged mistress, who was Kathy White. Long story short, I got a hold of her, and she was considering doing an interview with me, talking about her alleged affair with Jay.
Now, if you're wondering who Kathy White was, she wasn't just a random name. She was known as a PR consultant and fitness coach who moved in elite circles tied to major figures in entertainment. Kathy was reportedly present in high-level spaces, crossing paths with powerful names like Jay-Z and Diddy, which is exactly why her name coming up made people pay even more attention.
Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
There are old photos of Kathy circulating online Vegas parties, exclusive events, private gatherings where she's right there next to big names, smiling, holding a drink, completely comfortable in that world. That kind of presence is what made people take notice once her name started trending. According to Jaguar, Kathy White wasn't just someone who knew the Carters. She claims Kathy had a much bigger role in a hidden story. Jaguar even goes as far as saying Kathy was the one actually carrying the child, suggesting timelines lined up in a way she believes wasn't coincidence. She points to how Beyoncé began publicly showing during that same period, which raised questions for her. And then comes the part that really got people talking. Not long after Beyoncé's reported delivery, Kathy White passed away. She was only 28, described as healthy and full of life, and her sudden death was ruled a brain aneurysm. That timing, combined with the claims, pushed the conversation into overdrive online, with people connecting dots and asking more questions than ever.
And a couple days later, this beautiful, seemingly healthy 28-year-old woman just dies mysteriously. We were told it was a brain aneurysm. There was a lot of secrecy around.
But here's where things get darker. Journalist Liz Krogan reportedly said she had an interview scheduled with Kathy just days before her death. According to her, Kathy was preparing to speak publicly about something serious. What that was exactly? Nobody knows. And that mystery only made everything feel more unsettling. Coincidence? Maybe. But if you ask Jaguar, she doesn't believe in coincidences at all. She goes even further, claiming Kathy was pregnant with Jay-Z's child, suggesting that baby could have been Blue Ivy. It sounds extreme, almost too much to accept, and many people reacted that way at first. But then others started remembering, this isn't the first time Jaguar has made bold claims that sounded unbelievable at the time. Years ago, her statements about Diddy were dismissed until lawsuits and documentaries began surfacing, shifting public opinion. Now more people are second-guessing, wondering if there's more truth here too. Jaguar presents her claims like pieces of a larger puzzle, saying it follows a pattern she's been pointing out for years: powerful figures, silence, and unanswered questions. She's also made claims about other high-profile cases, including Kim Porter's passing, suggesting there were unresolved issues there as well. And now she's bringing that same energy toward Jay-Z, making it clear she believes there's more beneath the surface.
Beyonce got on that stage with that fake baby bump,
Oh yeah.
it was lined up with the same timing of where Kathy White would have been in her second trimester.
That line alone gave people chills, spreading fast and hitting hard. It's intense, no doubt, but Jaguar speaks with a tone that makes people feel like she's seen things others haven't. Whether people believe her or not, one thing is clear: they can't stop listening. Fans sometimes read too deeply into things, but at the same time, some of Beyoncé's lyrics have people raising eyebrows. In songs like Heaven and Daughter, she touches on loss with lines like "Heaven couldn't wait for you" and "Your body laid out." For many, those are powerful expressions of grief and motherhood, especially given what she's shared publicly. But for others, especially those already questioning things, those same lyrics feel different. They hear something deeper, like hidden meaning wrapped in music. To them, it doesn't sound like just art, it feels more personal. Of course, Beyoncé has openly spoken about her miscarriage before Blue, and those songs can easily connect to that painful reality. But for those who still have doubts, the lyrics feel like clues, pieces of a story they think hasn't been fully told. So when someone as private as Beyoncé expresses loss so vividly, it keeps the conversation alive. Fans don't always hear poetry, sometimes they hear confession. And that's where things intensify. But if there's one person who's always defended Beyoncé, it's her mother, Tina Knowles. She's been on the front lines for years, shutting down rumors before they spiral. And when these claims resurfaced, Tina didn't hold back. She directly called out the situation, saying media outlets helped spread a harmful rumor about Beyoncé faking her pregnancy. In her memoir, Matriarch, she opened up about how painful it was to see something so personal questioned. She spoke about the emotional weight Beyoncé carried, especially after multiple miscarriages, and how difficult it was just to reach that moment. She made it clear how unfair it felt to face criticism during such a sensitive time. At one point she said, "Y'all are not going to kill my children with this madness," showing just how protective she is. Fame can be brutal, turning deeply personal moments into public debates overnight. Tina also explained that Beyoncé has always guarded her privacy to protect her peace, but the public doesn't always respect that. Once a narrative sticks, it doesn't fade, it lingers, especially when tied to someone as powerful as Beyoncé. And that's what keeps this conversation alive. Jaguar may not have hard proof, but she's built a reputation for making claims that later gain attention. That pattern is why some people are still watching closely. She's called out situations before that were dismissed until more details came out. And what stands out most is how she delivers it. No hesitation, no fear, just confidence that grabs attention. The way she names names and connects details keeps people listening even when it sounds unbelievable. From
this point forward, any word that I say, I ain't holding back. And I ain't saying alleged either. Y'all said I was lying the first time. Now it turns out I'm telling the truth. You still don't want to admit that I was right, but you don't want to admit that you was wrong. So really, then the diplomacy doesn't matter. You.
And let's be real, Beyoncé's level of perfection is part of what keeps these rumors alive. She's so polished, so controlled, so precise with her image that some people start wondering if what they see is the full story. To fans, it can feel almost too perfect, like every move is calculated. Then you have Jaguar Wright, who is the complete opposite. Raw, unfiltered, outspoken, saying exactly what's on her mind. That contrast pulls people in. Next to Beyoncé's flawless image, Jaguar feels more real to some viewers. So even without solid proof, Jaguar becomes a voice the internet keeps amplifying. People tune in because her version is unpredictable, messy, and impossible to ignore. It's not polished, it's raw, and that makes it gripping, and maybe that's why this rumor won't disappear. At its core, it might not even be about babies, it's about control. Beyoncé has built an empire on precision, where every moment feels carefully crafted. That control is part of her power, but it also makes people wonder if everything is so controlled, what aren't we seeing? Meanwhile, Jaguar represents the opposite. No filters, no PR polish, just bold, unfiltered claims. And that's why people keep watching, no matter how wild it sounds. So what's the truth? Did Beyoncé carry Blue Ivy herself? Or is there more to the story? Was Kathy White's passing just a tragic coincidence or something deeper? The reality is, nobody knows for sure. There's no confirmed proof, just theories, speculation, and questions that keep people hooked. But one thing is certain. Every time Jaguar speaks, people stop and listen. And maybe that's what matters most. Whether she's exposing truths or stirring chaos, she makes people question everything. Maybe Beyoncé's story is exactly how she told it. Or maybe there's more beneath the surface. Either way, the conversation isn't going anywhere. And until the full truth comes out, if it ever does, people will keep watching, guessing, and asking questions. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Drop your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.